Hello, hello, hello. It's Holly Rustick here with Grant Writing and Funding. I'm really excited to have a guest from the Mentorship on the show today, Courtney Oliphant. And she is the CEO and founder of Coastal Nonprofit Consulting based in San Diego, California. Really excited to have you here because you've been like growing your business in 2025. And a lot of people are like, wait, what? And you do grant writing, like all of the things. And yes, we're going to be talking about how you've been doing that, what kind of clients you serve, all of the things as you're growing out your agency. So welcome to the show, Courtney.
Thank you so much, Holly. This is one of my favorite podcasts, so it's very weird and strange and wonderful to be on as a guest. So thank you for having me.
I always love it when people are like, it's like a full circle, or like, I listen to it. Now I'm hearing myself. It's
Totally.
so weird. Yeah.
Yeah.
So good.
There's a vision for what you want for your life, and then there's a plan to actually get there. And there's
Yeah.
usually a disconnect, and it's born, I think, out of a lot of fear of how you can get across those bridges. And so I had a lot of encouragement from, people in my life that, yes, you can do this, but also it was a drive of, well, I have to make this happen because I have kids that I have to feed. And, if all else fails, I can go back and get another in-house grant writing job. That's not like it's an incredibly difficult sector to get back into if you wanted to go back. So I had to put some faith and trust that what was going to come was going to come, and that it's going to be right and fit what I was looking for. And so far, it's been much harder to run a business than work in-house, but it's been, I think, more fulfilling, and I've been able to help a lot more organizations, which is really rewarding and I love.
Yeah. I love that too. And yeah, and you're right. Like, you know, it is like at the end of the day, a lot of people are like, oh my, they get stuck on that decision to start a business or to grow it because they're like, what if it doesn't work? And your brain went there. Well, what if it doesn't work? I'll get a job back in the sector, like not a
It's the
problem.
worst that can happen.
Right. Yeah. And it's like, well, that's not too bad. I would just be back to where I am right now. So like,
Hmm.
okay, I'm not really failing here in any way,
Yeah.
to move forward. And the other thing I want to touch on too is I do see a lot of people doing that. Even in my experience, I didn't have right out of the gate like that same organization be my first client, but they were my client eventually, right? Like even though I left
Interesting.
that job, yeah. And then I had other clients from my connections within that. But then, like a couple of years later, they came back to me because they knew like they were going through changes, and they're like, "But Holly was always institutional knowledge and knows where everything is, and these new people don't. We want to hire you as a freelancer." So I was like, "Cool,
Mm.
right?" So I mean, there's always that, and I think that's one of the easiest ways. I'm always saying, yeah, make your job your first time anchor client. Like it's one of the easiest transitions because they don't necessarily want to lose you either, and then there's some benefits you can give them, like okay, maybe it's not your full-time salary they're paying you either, right? Like those kind of things, but then they don't get you every day either, right? In place. So if there's some give and take there, that's highly beneficial usually for the nonprofit and for you, right? So I'm
Yeah,
glad that you did
definitely.
that. That's really cool. Yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of a spur of the moment. I wasn't really fully thinking it out, but in my resignation letter, I was like, you know what, I'm just going to throw this in. If they would like to retain me in with my new contractor rate, then I'd be happy to provide interim services while they looked and hired that role. And I only just finished my contract with them in March. So it took them almost 2 years to find someone, train someone up. I mentored an associate that they had on their team, and now she's the grant manager. So that was a really rewarding and fun experience because I still love the organization, and it was nice to continue on with them, but in a role that fit my lifestyle, my needs a little bit more. So in my case, it worked out really well.
Love that. Yeah. And it's just like helping them find that because they know like you're that knowledge, you can keep it going. So there's not going to be any gap. So let's talk about, so you started it, you're like, okay, now I have my business. And where along the line were you like, okay, you said you started to think strategically, like you wanted to grow your business. And like you mentioned, there was some hard things like, and then you got into the mentorship. So let's talk about like what kind of, how did you like go from freelancer to mentor or to like agency?
Yeah, that's a great question. So just for context, I started my business in May 2023, and now we're recording the very end of July 2025. So it's a little over 2 years since I started. But that first year
Yay.
was really the getting to, thank you, getting to 100K.
Yeah.
That was getting over that was so hard because you're at this point where you have more work than you can physically do on your own, but you're not really making a great profit margin yet to be able to hire out. And so there's a little bit of risk involved of like the work will continue to come. I can hire. So I hit that point probably about 5 months into the business of needing to bring on some contract support. Otherwise, I wasn't going to be able to keep saying yes to things. And I was going to burn
Right.
out faster than I would have in house, which is not what we want when we start our own businesses. We want that freedom. So that first year was a journey of learning how to work with contractors, learning how to set standards for, you know, the work that I want to go in front of clients and how anybody I bring on to my team reflects that. So that was an interesting challenge. And in addition to setting prices, that was a really
Yeah.
big
Yeah.
thing. And I think I was still trying to figure that out when I joined the mentorship last year. So it's been 12 months. I started as hourly, which, we could have a longer conversation about. But for me, I no longer do hourly, but it was important for me to start that way because then I understood how long it took me to do things. And I was able to track my time in 15-minute increments. So I understood like I could really scope a project well, a year later because I had done it that way. I'm still stand by that, but my rates I think were a little lower than they should have been, and it was very challenging mentally to get over that hump and raise my rates to where they should be at a market rate. So that was another thing that the mentorship was really helpful in is just mindset because so much of running a business is running a business and there's the sales and there's the mental blocks and there's the fear and the am I worthy of this, can I ask for this, and there's a lot of things you have to embrace in order to get over that next hump. So that was kind of a lot of those kinds of things over the first 18 months. And then when I joined the mentorship, about a month into that, I hired a second contractor and I increased the hours of one I had working with for a while. And I kind of worked through that process of how can we grow this team? How can we set it up so that we can take on more clients and also bring on more team support as we grow and kind of grow at the same time? Because I was taking on clients and growing really fast and then being like, I need help, looking around and no one was
Yeah.
there. So it was how do you kind of grow both of those at the same time? And then the other thing that happened was my husband was interested in joining the business. So
Mm.
he is also in fundraising on the individual side. And we talked about, wow, what could we do? What freedom could we have if you didn't have that in-house fundraising role anymore? And we could go into this together. So then it became a slightly different strategy of how do I grow this as an agency? That's when the agency thought kind of came in. How can we expand in the future to offer additional services outside of just grants? And then what kind of infrastructure would we need to sustain that? So he ended up leaving and joining the business in January of this year. And we're still trying to figure it out. So this is a in progress conversation that we're having, but it's been really great because we took the first couple of months of the year to figure out what we needed. And we brought on our first employee in March. So she's not quite full time, but that's because she's pursuing other things that she wants to do as well. But she is an employee and I'm an employee and my husband is full time. So we're starting to make those I don't know, big girl business moves of of growing the
Yeah.
team in a new way than just having the 1099 support, which is
I
valuable
love
too. But
that. Yeah. I
yeah.
mean, going from like, especially like it's now a family business. Like you got a family
Yeah,
business.
it
Like
is.
that's so
Yeah, my
cool.
mom is also our office manager, so she's on as
So
well. Yeah.
and amazing, right? Like I love so much about like grants. Like I love them so much because of the good that they do in the world, the mission that they can accomplish, like for so many things, but also like they provide it's changed your life. Like look at you have a family business now, like being able to employ people in your family, like that's so like heartwarming, and I love that so much while you're doing amazing work. Is it's not just financial growth or like growing your business numbers, but growing as an individual, right? Like growing and changing and embracing and just being braver in the world. So I think that's such a cool thing. So thank you for all the work that you're doing, and y'all like get a hold of Courtney, especially if you're in these cause areas. If you're in California or Arizona, definitely reach out to her at Coastal Nonprofit. So thank you again for Courtney for coming on the podcast, and I will see you back inside the mentorship.